Days of Our Lives July 11th. Secrets, legal twists, and family drama in Salem. Friday, July 11th promises a whirlwind of emotions and shocking revelations in Salem, as the residents find themselves entangled in complex legal battles, dramatic confrontations, and family turmoil. Get comfortable, because this roller coaster ride will surely keep you glued to your seat. Belle's complicated dilemma with E.J. Belle Black, Salem's freshly reinstated district attorney, finds herself in a terribly complicated situation. Her new position puts her in charge of prosecuting her nephew, Johnny DiMera, for allegedly attempting to murder his father, E.J. DiMera. Adding to the confusion, E.J., who is also Belle's current love interest, has decided to represent Johnny as his defense attorney. Belle must navigate this tangled web carefully. After all, prosecuting your nephew while your boyfriend defends him is far from an ordinary situation. EJ's motives seem unclear, raising questions about whether he genuinely seeks justice or has a hidden agenda. Will Belle see through EJ's manipulations, or could she have her own secret plan in mind? The tension is palpable, and Salem will be watching closely to see how Belle handles this emotional and ethical minefield. Johnny gets crucial updates from Mayor Paulina Price. Johnny DiMera is facing intense pressure as he awaits his fate. Mayor Paulina Price steps in with critical information regarding his trial. Johnny learns from Paulina that this high-profile case demands Belle's direct involvement rather than her assistance due to the significant public attention. Johnny, anxious about his uncertain future, seeks clarity about the evidence against him. Could Paulina be preparing Johnny for a bombshell revelation? There's speculation that video evidence might dramatically alter the outcome. Everyone is holding their breath, waiting for the mayor's full disclosure and how it might shift Johnny's legal standing. Chanel under fire. Spousal privilege tested. Meanwhile, Chanel Dupree becomes a key figure in the investigation when Detective Jada Hunter brings her in for questioning. Chanel, Johnny's wife, holds critical information about Johnny's whereabouts the night EJ was shot. The big question is whether Chanel will provide an alibi for her husband or choose to remain silent. This scenario brings up an important legal principle: spousal privilege. Chanel has the legal right to refuse to testify against Johnny or even answer questions about his actions that night. But will Chanel invoke this right, potentially protecting Johnny at her own peril, or will she inadvertently reveal damaging information? As Chanel considers her options, the tension builds, leaving viewers wondering whether love or justice will guide her decision. Maggie and Xander clash again. Elsewhere, Maggie Horton Kyriakis finds herself at odds yet again with Xander Kyriakis. Maggie's maternal instincts drive her anger toward Xander, whom she still blames for breaking her daughter Sarah's heart. The tension escalates when Maggie learns that Gwen Rizek is back in Salem, lurking around Xander again. Gwen's presence is like salt in Maggie's wounds, reopening old grudges. Adding to this friction, Maggie's protective streak kicks into high gear when she discovers Sarah's plan to fight Xander for custody of their children. Maggie believes Xander's volatile behavior makes him unfit, but the question remains, can Maggie truly protect her family from the emotional storm that's brewing? Sarah's risky attempt to reveal the truth. Sarah Horton has her own mission. Determined to uncover what really happened the night Philip Kyriakis was brutally beaten, Sarah reaches out to Philip, hoping he will finally reveal the truth. Her plan involves secretly recording Philip's confession, but this strategy carries considerable risk. Previously, at the bistro, Xander mistakenly accused Sarah of secretly taping their conversation, leading to heightened suspicion. Sarah now wonders if she should indeed record Philip to secure a definitive confession. The stakes are high. If Philip suspects her intentions, Sarah might lose her one chance to get justice. Meanwhile, Xander's paranoia grows. Will he uncover Sarah's strategy? Or will Philip, fearing repercussions, refuse to speak out altogether? Salem waits anxiously, knowing that this confrontation could alter several lives forever. Salem's uncertain future. Friday's episode promises intense drama, legal intrigue, and deep emotional stakes for Salem's beloved residents. Belle's career hangs precariously as she balances her family loyalty against professional duty. Johnny's freedom is uncertain, resting heavily on Chanel's decisions. Maggie and Xander's strained relationship might reach its breaking point, and Sarah risks everything in pursuit of the truth. With secrets lurking around every corner, one thing is clear: Friday, July 11th will mark another unforgettable day in Salem. Don't miss it. Days of Our Lives recap. Thursday, July 10th, 2025. The quaint, sunlit town of Salem buzzed with secrets and schemes on yesterday's gripping episode of Days of Our Lives. The drama unfolded like a carefully woven tapestry, with threads of ambition, betrayal, and family loyalty intertwining to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. For those who have followed the DiMera family saga for decades, the episode delivered a masterclass in suspense as old rivalries flared and new alliances formed. Let's dive into the heart of Salem's latest chapter, where every whispered conversation and sidelong glance carried the weight of life-altering consequences. A power play at DiMera Enterprises. In the opulent DiMera mansion, where crystal chandeliers cast their glow over polished mahogany, Tony DiMera, Theo Penglis, and his brother E.J. DiMera, Dan Feuerriegel, sat across from each other. Their voices low but charged with intensity. The topic? The future of DiMera Enterprises, the family's sprawling business empire, and the daring proposition of installing young Johnny DiMera Carson Boatman as its next CEO. Tony, ever the strategist, leaned forward, his eyes gleaming with determination. He spoke of reclaiming DiMera Enterprises from the clutches of Titan Industries, their longtime rival. But Tony's vision was clear: any move to seize control must be above board, legal, and untarnished by the family's notorious penchant for underhanded tactics. EJ, however, smirked with the confidence of a man who believed he could outmaneuver any obstacle, including the attempted murder charges hanging over his head like a storm cloud. "Those charges will vanish, Tony," he said, his voice smooth as silk. "I'll be clean as a whistle, and DiMera Enterprises will rise again." His cavalier attitude toward the law was no surprise to longtime fans, who know EJ's history of bending rules to suit his ambitions. Yet, the plan's success hinged on one critical factor: Johnny's innocence. If Johnny were to be cleared of his own legal troubles, he could step into the CEO role, carrying the DiMera legacy forward. But whispers of doubt lingered. Could Johnny, the charming but impulsive young heir, truly lead the empire? As the brothers plotted, their schemes diverged. Tony, seeking legitimacy, reached out to Gabby Hernandez, Camila Banis, whose sharp mind and fierce determination made her a formidable ally. Meanwhile, EJ turned to Gwen Rizek, Emily O'Brien, a wild card whose loyalty was as unpredictable as a summer storm. The stage was set for a battle of wits, with DiMera Enterprises as the prize and Johnny's future hanging in the balance. A shocking discovery on the SD card across town. In a modest office cluttered with case files and coffee cups, Belle Black-Brady, Martha Madison, and Jada Hunter, Elia Cantu, huddled over a desk, their eyes fixed on a small SD card. The tiny piece of plastic held a secret that could unravel one of Salem's most tangled mysteries. As they inserted the card into a laptop, the screen flickered to life, revealing footage that sent chills down their spines. The contents of the SD card were a bombshell, promising to propel Belle and Jada into a dangerous new chapter of their investigation. The question on everyone's mind: who sent the SD card? Suspicion swirled around EJ, who had been seen with the card after yanking it from a security camera on the night of the incident. Had he sent it to Belle and Jada deliberately, hoping to manipulate the narrative? Or was someone else pulling the strings? The footage itself raised more questions than answers. Some speculated it might show Johnny handing EJ a gun, a damning image that could shatter the DiMera family's fragile unity. Others whispered about a fleeting glimpse of young Rachel Black, Alice Halsey, lurking in the shadows behind a door, her presence unnoticed until now. Could Rachel, a child caught in the crossfire of adult schemes, hold the key to the truth? Despite the allegations swirling around Johnny, few in Salem believed he was capable of such a heinous act. His boyish charm and earnest demeanor made the accusations seem unthinkable. Yet, the SD card's revelations threatened to upend everything, pulling Belle and Jada deeper into a web of deception that could change their lives and Johnny's forever. Titan's tensions boil over. Meanwhile, at Titan Industries, the air crackled with tension as Philip Kiriakis, J. Kenneth Johnson, and Xander Cook, Paul Telfer faced off in a battle of wills. The two men, bound by family ties but divided by ambition, clashed over the future of Titan. Philip, still nursing wounds from a brutal beating he suspected Xander of orchestrating, stood his ground. His voice was steady but his eyes burned with distrust. "I'm not walking away, Xander," he declared, his words carrying the weight of a man who knew his silence gave him power. By refusing to turn in his brother, Philip held a trump card, one that could either protect Xander or destroy him. Xander, ever the rogue, paced the room, his frustration palpable. The beating had left a rift between the brothers, one that no amount of corporate maneuvering could fully mend. Yet Philip's decision to stay silent gave him leverage, a fact that both men understood all too well. Their argument wasn't just about Titan's direction, it was a struggle for control, trust, and the fragile bonds of family. As the two men stood toe-to-toe, the future of Titan hung in the balance, with neither willing to yield. A family rallies around Johnny. Back in the DiMera orbit, Chanel Dupree, Raven Bowens, and EJ stood united in their support for Johnny. Chanel, Johnny's fierce and loyal partner, refused to believe the accusations against him. "Johnny's innocent," she insisted, her voice trembling with conviction. "He'd never do something like this." EJ, too, had come around, though his faith in Johnny's innocence was hard-won. At one point, EJ had suspected Johnny of shooting him, a betrayal that had briefly torn the family apart. Now, with the truth still shrouded in mystery, EJ's focus shifted to protecting his son, and possibly incriminating someone else. Whispers around Salem pointed to Kristen DiMera, Stacy Hayduk, the original suspect in the shooting. Sources close to the family suggested Kristen might take the fall, not out of guilt, but to shield young Rachel from a devastating truth. If Kristen were to go to jail, it would be a sacrifice born of love, a desperate attempt to protect her daughter from the consequences of a secret too terrible to reveal. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the DiMera family's loyalty was about to be tested in ways they could never have imagined. A town on the brink. As the episode drew to a close, Salem stood on the precipice of upheaval. Tony and EJ's schemes for DiMera Enterprises threatened to reshape the town's power structure, while the SD card's revelations promised to unearth long-buried truths. Philip and Xander's feud at Titan simmered, ready to boil over at any moment, and Johnny's fate hung in the balance, with Chanel and EJ fighting to clear his name. In every corner of Salem, alliances were forged, secrets were whispered, and the past loomed large, ready to cast its shadow over the future. For those who have followed Days of Our Lives through its decades of twists and turns, yesterday's episode was a reminder of why Salem remains a place where no one is ever truly safe from the consequences of their choices. As the DiMera family, the Kiriakis clan, and the citizens of Salem navigate this latest storm, one thing is certain: the drama is far from over. Tune in next time to see how these stories unfold and whether the truth will set Johnny free or tear Salem apart.